Today's Seattle Suburb Showdown compares 5 Western Washington cities and towns outside Seattle, with typical home values starting around $517,000, and one winner for 2026. And number 1 is the contender most buyers don't see coming.
The matchup is intentionally tight. Every place in this bracket sits between $517,761 and $657,052. Using Zillow's home value estimates from May 2026, Walk Score rates every contender between 85 and 95. So this is not a search for the absolute lowest price in the region. It is a same-rules contest across price, walkability, and place. The scoring weights are ours.
Medians are area estimates, and individual listings can land far above or below the headline number. Number 5 is Kent, Washington. Kent comes in with the highest median in the showdown at $657,052, but it doesn't fall out of the conversation because Walk Score rates it at 85. It also posts $346 per square foot, which helps explain why it stays competitive when space matters. In a bracket this close, Kent is not a weak entry. It is simply carrying the heaviest price tag. What keeps Kent interesting is that it is not trying to win the same way as every other contender. The city has a real center of gravity, with downtown Kent, local storefronts, sounder access, and a broader spread of residential areas around it. Compared with some Seattle suburbs that lean mainly on proximity to Seattle, Kent has its own identity in the Green River Valley, with business parks, and everyday services tied into the local street grid. The trade-off is that the higher median makes every other stat work harder. At 85 for walkability, Kent is solid, but in this particular showdown, solid is not quite enough to climb higher. Number 4 is Auburn, Washington. Auburn wins the split decision over Kent because its median drops to $567,863, while its Walk Score edges up to 86. That is a meaningful swing in this price bracket, especially because Auburn also brings its own Main Street feel, rather than functioning only as a pass-through suburb. It is close enough to Kent on the stat sheet to make the comparison interesting, but the lower median gives Auburn the cleaner round. Auburn's case is built on balance. The downtown area has a traditional street layout, local businesses, public gathering points, and direct connections that make it easier to understand as a city rather than just a collection of subdivisions. It also sits at a crossroads in South King County, with the Green River, White River, and major transportation corridors shaping how the area feels. Against Kent, Auburn trades a slightly stronger Walk Score and a noticeably lower median for a different style of local center. That is why it moves ahead, even if the two are close enough that personal priorities could flip them. This is also where the bracket starts to reveal its personality. Auburn and Kent are not separated by a huge walkability gap, and both bring practical suburban infrastructure with recognizable downtown areas. The difference is that Auburn gives the scoring system more room to breathe on price, while Kent answers with space-related competitiveness and a larger city feel. Neither one is the headline winner, but both set the baseline. In 2026, the serious contenders need more than a lower price. They need a walkable core, useful services, and enough local character to stand on their own outside Seattle. Number 3 is Renton, Washington. Renton is the all-rounder of the group, and its Walk Score of 95 is tied for the highest in the entire showdown. The reason it does not take the title is the median, $609,558, which is above several rivals that still bring strong walkability. On pure street-level convenience, Renton absolutely belongs near the top. On the full scorecard, that higher median costs it points. Renton's strength is how much city texture it packs into a suburban label. Downtown Renton, the south end of Lake Washington, the Cedar River, and nearby employment and retail corridors all give it multiple anchors instead of one simple center. It has a different feel from Auburn and Kent because the lakefront geography and older downtown pattern make it more urban in places, while still spreading into residential hills and commercial strips. That 95 Walk Score is the headline, and it matters because it puts Renton shoulder to shoulder with the eventual champion. The catch is that the price gap makes the fight harder. Renton is also the reminder that a stat sheet winner is not everyone's winner. If walkability carries the most weight, Renton has a powerful argument. If the median price carries more weight, Lakewood and Everett push past it. And if local geography matters, Renton's combination of Lake Washington access, river corridor, and downtown streets creates a profile no other contender matches exactly. It lands in third, not because it lacks a defining strength, but because this showdown rewards the strongest mix of price and walkability together. Number 2 is Lakewood, Washington. Lakewood enters as the value fighter, with the lowest median in the ring at $517,761. Its walk score is 85, matching Kent and keeping it firmly in the conversation, while the city's chain of lakes gives it a setting that stands apart from the other four. If this contest were scored mostly on price, Lakewood would have a strong claim to first place. In the combined matchup, it goes the distance, but comes up just short. Lakewood's appeal in this comparison is not only the lowest median, it is the contrast between that price point and the physical setting. The city includes access around American Lake, Lake Steilacoom, Gravelly Lake, and other water features that give it a different map than the South King County contenders. It also sits in Pierce County rather than King or Snohomish County, which changes the regional context while still keeping it inside the broader Western Washington suburb conversation. The walk score of 85 is not the top mark here, but paired with the lowest median, it creates one of the strongest overall arguments. The reason Lakewood stops at number 2 is simple. This is not a lowest median only ranking.
The bracket starts at just over $517,000. So places with even lower medians elsewhere are not part of this specific fight. Within these 5, Lakewood wins the price round, brings a distinctive lakeside identity, and avoids feeling like a one-note pick. But when the final comparison adds walkability and downtown strength, one contender combines a near Lakewood price advantage with a higher walk score and a bigger urban core. Number 1 is Everett, Washington. Everett takes the crown with a walk score of 95, tied for the highest in the showdown, and a median of $558,951. That puts it only about $9,000 below Auburn, but with a much stronger walkability score. More importantly, Everett brings a real downtown and a working waterfront at a price point none of the other contenders matches cleanly. That combination is why it wins. Everett's case is unusually complete for this bracket. Downtown Everett has an established street grid, civic buildings, restaurants, shops, and older commercial blocks that give it a true center. Then the waterfront adds another layer with marine industry, port activity, trails, public access points, and views that connect the city to Puget Sound rather than just to a highway corridor. In many Seattle suburb comparisons, the waterfront choice usually pushes the price conversation much higher. Everett is the rare entry here where the walkability score stays at 95, while the median remains under $560,000. That is the stat line the other contenders could not quite beat. Renton matches the 95 walk score, but comes in higher on median price. Lakewood beats Everett on median price, but lands 10 points lower on walkability, and does not have the same downtown waterfront pairing. Auburn is close on price, but not close on walk score, while Kent has the highest median and no compensating top score. Everett is not the winner because every viewer will rank it first. It is the winner because under this showdown's rules, it stacks the strongest number of advantages in one place. So, the 5 contenders are Kent, Auburn, Renton, Lakewood, and Everett. The takeaway: the winner depends on how you balance price, walkability, and place. Every number is sourced, with links in the description. Which neighborhood would have made your top 5? Tap like, subscribe, and tell me what Seattle Suburb Showdown you want next.